Hi everyone, this is the final video for week 4. We're now going to look at the join command. This basically allows us to combine files. This is really important because quite often the source of your data may come from different locations. So like the example I gave earlier where I was involved in solutions that gathered data from mobile phone masts. These were obviously numerous masts spread over wide locations, each transferring data, and we had to combine it all into a single file. So being able to join files is something that's really important. And I don't just mean concatenating them, we can actually join them in very specific ways, and that's what we're going to look at today. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and have a wee look at the commands to do this. Right, back to my screen again. So first thing I'm going to do is show you the files I'm going to use. So I've got two files. I've got one called employees.txt. So this basically contains a list of employees, surname and forename, and also the grade that they're on, as in their salary scale. So the number in the first field is their salary grade. So for instance, William Robert is on salary grade 1, Fiona Davies is on salary grade 4. The other file I have is one called rate.txt, and this contains more details about those salary grades. So the first field is the grade again, salary grade. So a grade 1 will earn £196.87 a week. Grade 2, 207.65, and so on. So what I would really like to do is I'd like to combine the contents of these files so that I can see for Robert William, who's on a grade 1, that he earns £196.87. I'd like to see all that in one file rather than having to look it up in a separate file. So in order to combine files, first thing you need, which is important, is the files need to have a field that's common to both of them in order for there to be a link. So you can see in this case the common field is the salary grade field. So that's the first step. If your files don't have a common field, then you're not going to be able to join them. Next step is that the files must be sorted in order of the common field. So again, the first file, you can see it's sorted by field 1. So it's in order of the salary grade. And again, same for the second file, it's also sorted in order by the salary grade. So two key points for joining files. They need to have a field that's common to both, and they also need to be sorted in order of that field before you can progress. Okay, so we're in that situation just now. So we can go ahead and join these files. The default in Linux is that it will use the first field in each file to combine the files. It'll by default use the first field as the common field, which is the way these files have been set up luckily. So the common field is both field 1 in each case. So that's a default behaviour. So let's have a wee look at how that works. So we can just say join and then the name of the files. So we've got employees.txt and we've got rate.txt. And it'll go away and it will join those files into one single output. So you can see here, as I stated before, it has taken each record and combined them. So we can now see in one file, we can see all of the data. So I can see Robert William is on a salary grade of 1, which is £196.87. So it's pretty useful to be able to combine data like that and get everything in one single record, in one single file, and all the records in one file. Again, join commands, if we do a man on it, it's got lots and lots of different options which you can explore. So you can have a look through them if you like. Again, I'm just going to cover the most commonly used options. So the command we just ran, let's bring it back up, was the base default execution of the join command. And in order for that to work, I had to have a few things in place. Always, you have to have your common field, you have to have your files sorted by the common field, and in this case, because I was using the default version of the command, my common field had to be in position 1. It had to be field 1 in the record. So we can, however, use different fields. We don't have to use field 1, we don't have to use the default. So that's what I'm going to show you just now. So let's say, I'm going to look at the files again. So employees.txt. So there's all the employees, and I've got another file, another rate file called rate2.txt, and you'll notice that this one, there is still the common field, so they've still both got this salary grade field. Both files are still ordered by their field, the common field, but you'll notice that in the first file, the common field is in field 1, is in the first field, and in the second file, the common field is actually field position 2. So the default sort won't work in that case. So what I need to do is I can use a join command again, default join, sorry, not sort. I can use the join command again, but this time I'll need to specify which field to look at to perform the join. Now to do that, you use -1 indicates for file 1 which field you want to use. So for file 1 I want to use field 1, and then -2 for file 2 I want to use field 2. Now in actual fact, and then you put in the name of the files, so employees.txt and rate2.txt. Now in actual fact, because the default is to use the first field, I don't need to explicitly put this in. So I can leave it in, or I can take it out because it will use the first field by default. So I'll take it out just to show you it still works. Okay, hit return, and again it's successfully joined the files. This time joining files whose common field isn't necessarily in position 1. So that's a really useful thing to be able to do. It saves you having to rearrange contents of files. Okay, the other thing we can do is that it is sometimes useful to pick what you want to actually display in the output. So when you join files together, you might not actually want to display each field, or you might want to display the fields in a different order. So again, join gives us that option. So to switch on the output formatting, we need to use -O for output. So then what we do is we specify what we want the output to look like, what fields we want to be displayed to the screen. And we need to do this by saying which file, and in that file, which field we want to be displayed. So for example, I'm going to say that my output, the format of my output, I want it to be file 1, and then I use a dot, field 1. So first number is the file, and the second number is a field. So that gives me file 1, field 1. Then I'm going to pick file 2, field 2. And then I'm going to pick file 1, field 2. And then again file 1, field 3. And I'm going to use employees.txt, and I'm going to use rate.txt. Okay, so now you can see we've got a slightly different output. Now what I'm going to do just to prove it is different, I'm going to go way back to how we joined them right at the start as a default. So there was a default join, okay, which gave us this output. So by default it gave us the salary, grade, surname, forename, and then the actual salary value. If I just move this up a wee bit, widen this so you can see, and then the join up here, so the one that I did with the -O, you can see that the output of that's in a different order, because I've said take field 1 from file 1, so that's the same, and then I've said take field 2 from file 2, so I've actually taken the salary value as the next thing to output. Then I've taken field 2 from file 1, which is the surname, and then field 3 from file 1, which is the forename. So again, it's nice from the point of view that if you want to join the files, but you need to reorder what the output looks like, then you can use the -o command to do that. And then that gets your file in the correct order and format that your following program is looking for. So again, it's a command that join command is really flexible. You can do so much with it. So have a wee play around, create some files, have the data in different order, etc. Play around with the output, and you can see how flexible it is. Okay, so that's the final video for week 4.